So this is perfect practice. Perfect practice is something that I designed here that has you phase yourself into the strategy. Because the strategy is debit spread, credit spread. You convert this vert into a butterfly by adding this vert. Buy the debit spread, sell the credit spread. You leave both trades open, but when combined, or you don't have to combine them, this is what exists. These two short strikes give you the -2. This is the +1 and the +1 of a butterfly. A debit spread, is a long call and a short call, and a credit spread is a short call and a long call. And so that is your butterfly, +1, -2, +1. So part one is the debit spread. Part two is the credit spread. And part three is putting them both together. Now there's a reason why I do this. So let me show you the practice of it. So the strategy the initial strategy is this, right? If you're trading calls, right? Boom and boom. You put this one on, you put this one on. But what I found over time was that when the market shifts, sometimes it pulls back after I'm already in it, right? I'm trying to get this and it pulls back like this. Now maybe it goes higher or maybe it chops, but it's not just shooting straight up into my my credit spread to fill. So I'm like, I got some risk here, but it's just taking its sweet time, even though the debit spread is in the money. So what I created was a strategy that allowed me to place the debit spread, more than one, let's just say two of them. And as price started to move up into it, the debit spreads were worth money. Now I could just sell the debit spread, but that defeats the purpose. But I could sell one of them. And if I could get $40 for it, let's say I was paid $2, I sell one of them for $2.40. Now I've got $40 in the bank and I've got one debit spread left. I watch price action. I have my pullback level. I know where it is that I would exit the trade if it went south, but that hasn't happened yet. And now I look to put this on. And typically I'd like to put this on for say 240, right? So I would put in a limit order at 240 so that I could make $40, buy, sell, make $40. But I already made $40. I could actually, and this would have to get up to about here. I'm just estimating, right? In price. Well, what if it doesn't come up there? What if I just said, you know what? I'm going to get this thing for like 210. I could fill this thing a lot quicker. Like, no, not here. Like closer to maybe here or right here. I could fill this thing at 210. Now, normally, if I just bought one at 2, put on a 210, okay, that makes $10. But remember, I've got $40, don't I? What if I said, you know what, I'll put this on at 190. I could get filled here, like right, almost right away. Just a little bit more of a move, and I could get filled. Now, normally, you wouldn't want to do that, right, Chosen? You wouldn't want to go $2 in, 190 in, and then lose $10. Although $10 for a 5-wide butterfly ain't a bad price, but that's kind of not. Yeah, like if it's choppy blue sky, yeah, if it's just pulling back, it's not, the move is not really happening with momentum. Maybe it goes into a squeeze, so it slows down a little bit. You normally wouldn't want to do that. But can you all see that if I sell one of them, almost right away, once it goes from an out of the money vertical into an in the money vertical, right? Slightly out of the money, then price moves up in the money. I could get $40 for it. I now can take a loss. In fact, I could get this sucker for 180. Now you'd say, well, Michael, you're going to lose $20. Really? I already made 40 selling the first one. So if you make 40 selling number one, but you'll lose 20 putting on a credit spread on number two, what do you end up with? $20 profit and a butterfly, which is the goal. So can you see, by selling the debit spread and creating some immediate cash, it doesn't have to, but it can help you get that butterfly closed because you don't have to wait as long or to have price move as far. That makes sense? Those of you that are new, does that make sense to you? So ultimately, if you got 10, you could sell 5 and convert 5. If you sold 5 for, let's say, $30 each, you now have 300. Let's do another scenario, and then I'll show you 1, 2, and 3. What if you did 10? What if you sold 7 of them at $30? Just making up a number. You got $210 and 3 debit spreads. Do you realize that you could take a $50 hit on 3 of them? Right? That would be $150 loss. So in other words, 200, 150. You could do that on the remaining 3 and lose $150. But you already made 210. So now you're up $60 and you have 3 flies with a potential of $1,500 kicker if you pin it. Look at that scenario. There's a lot of variables here. The main thing that you need to learn and practice is, can I sell that first one? Can I spot the shift and sell that first one? Boom, boom. Because there's a few things that you've got to master in order to be successful. The first thing is to spot the shift. You got to do that first. Then you've got to execute correctly a proper entry on the debit spread, right? So this is number 1. Executing and getting a good price and getting that entry on the debit spread, that's number 2. So you got to learn that first. And then to sell it, like, I got it, boom, see the shift, I got it, boom, I sold it. That's enough. That's enough to practice. Guess what that's called? That's called phase 1. Just spotting the shift and selling the debit, getting a debit spread and selling it.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comments section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.